Hey there, me again. I'm just out doing the rucking. So it's me, Michael, your friendly neighborhood humble stroke assaulter. That is a person not paid extra walking in the background. So let's just talking about working out as a stroke survivor today. So I go rucking. I may also be known as yomping for the Royal Marine out there. Could be known as tabbing for anyone that's in the British military and not in the RM. Or in North America, it could be rucking. Could also be called, Bergen versus brain. It's not hiking. Taxes get hiked. Your rent gets hiked. Pants get hiked. This is not hiking. This is moving in an organized fashion with a purpose, with an exceedingly heavy load on your back. So first thing when you get into a new activity as a stroke survivor, I'm going to highly encourage you to seek out your neurologist, your general practitioner, your cardiologist. You want to make sure that you're not going to throw a stroke, a TIA, a heart attack, or have any other major medical maladies while working out. Secondly, you're going to want to engage the services of your physiotherapist and your occupational therapist to give you the best strategies to either start your working out process or to develop your working out process. So in my case, I have foot drop. One of the reasons why I started doing this is running in myself right now would look like highly disorganized falling in a rapid fashion. So as not to engage in an unhealthy behavior such as running, I've taken a rucking, tabbing, yomping, what have you, not hiking. Next thing you want to make sure is you're well hydrated. As soon as you notice you're thirsty, you are dehydrated at that point. So you're going to want to start drinking about 1 liter of water every 2 hours before you start working out. You're going to want to continue drinking 1 liter of water for every 2 hours after you finish working out. And approximately 1 liter of water every 45 minutes, depending on the temperature that you're working out in. For example, if it's 20 degrees C, 1 liter of water per hour is good. If it's over between, say, 30 to 35 degrees C, I'm in Canada, that can happen. You're probably going to want 1.5 liters to 2 liters of water. And above 35 degrees C, stay the fuck home. What are you working out for? Go to the gym. But still, you're going to want to drink a lot of water. The last thing as a stroke survivor you need is to become dehydrated, because that just becomes a source of other difficulty. So let's just talk about safety when working out. One, people go, hey, where do you go do this rucking, this hiking, this jumping, this whatever? I do it in town. I do it on the sidewalks. I do it in the streets, because if I happen to thunder in, I'm not on a trail somewhere, so someone will hopefully see me fall and call the 911 and get me back to the hospital if that needs to happen. Also, I'm close to home. At no point during my rucking am I really any farther than 1 kilometer away from where I live, maybe 1.5 kilometers, depending where I am on the route. So if an emergency pops up, like I gotta take a poo, I can go home. If I'm not feeling it because of the fatigue, I can turn around and go home. If I'm dehydrated and turn around, things like that, I can immediately turn around and go home. So as a stroke survivor, some of the things you might not have normally considered when you work out, now you're kind of forced to consider. So like one of the things that you need to think about is, in the case of rucking, is one, you've bought the appropriate equipment. So I bought the bag that a friend of mine had, a very similar bag. I bought that. I bought one almost identical to it. You'll notice this is not tight to my body. I can actually fit my hand through it, right? Again, not tight to my body. Same thing at the hip belt, right? I have a hip belt on. If I can back up far enough, there's a hip belt. I can easily fit my hand, through the belt. So this is not tight to my body in any way. It still has move to it. It still has flexion to it. So it's not like a 4-position tourniquet that's self-propelled, right? That's the last thing you want. You don't want any equipment that's too tight to your body. You don't want to restrict your range of motion. You don't want to restrict blood flow, right? You're not wearing a 4-pointed self-propelling tourniquet. That's not the purpose of this. And that's true of any equipment you need to buy. So if you need to buy special shoes, you need some kind of brace, you need a special bicycle, whatever the case may be, you want to make sure you get the right safety equipment, or the right equipment that you can use safely when you work out. Secondly, don't worry about the fashion. I've always been this ugly, with the exception of a newly appropriated mustache. So it's not about fashion. How good do I look? It's not about how fast you're going to do it either. It's more about form and function, right? You're more worried about getting the correct form and getting the correct function. So it takes about, round numbers, about 2,000 successful repetitions to learn a new skill. It takes about 20,000 repetitions to unlearn bad skills, bad habits, bad behaviors. So you wanted to start yourself outright, develop the right behaviors right off the hop, reinforce successes. And I have foot drop. There are times where I'm going to start walking with this thing on, and I'm going to notice that it's not correct foot placement, or it's not effective foot placement. So at that point, I'm going to slow my pace down, and I'm going to take the time to effectively, for the next 15 or 20 steps, monitor how I do things, and just slowly reinforce the correct behavior, right? So that's the most important piece when you're doing the working out as a stroke survivor, is you have to worry about things that you hadn't really had the time to consider before, or needed to consider, because you weren't a stroke survivor until you've had the stroke, right? Fun facts. And you just want to do things safely, right? So on that note, I just thought I'd make another rucking video, or it might be called Bergen versus Brain Volume 1, or maybe Volume 2. So on that note, if you happen to like what you've been watching on the channel, please like, share, subscribe. If you want to see me generate some content, just pop me an email to strokeassault@gmail.com. You can find me on the Instagram or the Twitter. And if you happen to either in yourself or someone around you, the signs or symptoms of a stroke, that being someone who immediately appears to be befuddled or confused, someone has vision problems, they can only see in one eye, they can see at a grayscale, they only see a little dot in the world. There's a noticeable visual slackening of the facial muscles. They can't move both arms equally, effectively, or at all. They have speech problems. They can't understand speech. They have slurred speech, inappropriate speech, inappropriate words for speech, for like the context and situation that you're in. They're slurring, they're mumbling. They can't, they have the inability to stand unaided, right? Please place that person in a position of comfort and dial 911. Something so simple can save a life. Bye.